This show is supported by Odoo. When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com. This show is supported by Blue Land. We hear a lot about microplastics in oceans and food, but they can also come from products we use every day at home, including cleaning products. Blue Land is on a mission to make it easy for everyone to make sustainable choices. Blue Land believes that hardworking, clean products can be the norm, not the exception, so that you can do better for your family and the planet at the same time. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaner to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land's products are independently tested to perform alongside major brands, and the formulas are free from dyes, parabens, and harsh chemicals. You'll love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets your house clean. Blue Land is a certified B Corp and Leaping Bunny cruelty-free certified. Their formulas are EPA's Safer Choice certified, and many products have also earned Cradle to Cradle's Gold Material Health Certificate. If you're looking to make a small change in your routine, you can get 15% off your first order at blueland.com/prx. Get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/prx. blueland.com/prx.
Hey everybody, this is Scoots, and we're starting something new called Surprised by Scoots, where I want to catch you doing something right? I want to surprise you. And this is for anybody that wants to support the show, beyond financially supporting the sponsors or supporting the show directly. Like, in your heart, you love the podcast. In your heart, it's a big part of your life. And in your heart, you say, I love a surprise. Tell me more. Well, all you have to do is tell one person about the podcast. We used to do this one listener initiative. Tell one person about the show genuinely. How does the podcast help you? How's it changed your life? What are your favorite episodes? How did you discover the podcast? What did you think about it at first? Any of those things. Let one person know about it, whether it's online or in person, in a forum, on social media. If you do it, tag me at Dearest Scooter or send me a message through our website, and I'm going to try to surprise some of those people. I've got subscriptions to Sleep With Me Plus. I got a bunch of those to give away. I've got stickers, personal video from Scoot saying, you're surprised. Now I'm just going to randomly select people, but why wait? This will help the show so much. You're going to help whoever you let know about the podcast, because if the podcast changed your life, there's other people out there that haven't heard about the show. If they don't know about the podcast, you can't help them. They're out there struggling. So let people know about it, but don't spam. Just share your genuine experience with the show, and I'll be looking for you. I'll be looking to catch you and surprise you. Like a little Pikachu. I'm going to catch you if I can, and it's going to be fun. So you could either tag me at Dearest Scooter, that's DearestScooter, or let me know through the form on our website. Thanks, everybody. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whether you've ever been to a shopping mall that is used, is that do shopping malls, they used to use like some sort of like fiber, like similar to what you'd put inside of pillows as pretend snow. Does anybody else really say, what is that puffy stuff? Is that like the inside of pillows? It's supposed to be snow? Once covered shopping malls everywhere during the holiday season, which this is not. So you're wondering, Scoots, why is it on your brain? I say, I don't know. I just know that, but I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I wish I did. I mean, if we could clear that stuff out, I'm sure there'd be more space for something else. But probably be something, my brain would say, great, now I got more time. Now that you've cleared all that pillow fill, I can talk to you more about stuff at bedtime. And I have more resources to process things at bedtime when you're trying to get to sleep. So if you're new, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, or you could relate to what I'm talking about, or you're just confused, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Sleep With Me. It's a podcast to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff while you fall asleep, to be your friend in the deep, dark night. to be your bore bud, not really to put you to sleep, but to, just be there while you fall asleep, talking, distracting, keeping you company. This show is very, very different than most things out there. So give it a few tries and see how it goes. It's just like calling a goofy friend and saying, talk to me about something, but talk to me about almost, and I'm not going to pay attention, but I want you to talk about something intentionally, but also make sure it's kind of like about nothing, but it should be about something in case I want to listen. Like, here's the thing. If you asked me this, if you said, what's one of the compacts, can you barely put a file on my face? No, don't put any files on anybody's face. Is subconscious. Subconscious. I can't even pronounce that. What is that? It was so weird. What kind of Freudian slip was that? Put a file on my face. Why? I mean, I guess if you were taking a nap at the office, I mean, now that I think about it, if you could sleep like if you were in a chair, a manila file, with the one, that's what a file is, right? I mean, that might be pretty good. It gives you plenty of room for your nose and your mouth, but it also covers your eyes. Probably won't fall off if you're leaning back in your chair or laying down. Won't provide much pillowing, but I have no idea what I was saying before. Put a smile. Oh, can you barely put a smile on my face? I think I just may have, you say people suddenly, we tried to get everybody to go back to the office, Brad. Here's another report on back to the office, news to snooze to. Yeah, we got everybody back in the office, and then this sleep podcaster gave everybody this great idea. I don't know how it wasn't worldwide already, but people started, taking naps at their office with file folders over their face, gently placed. And then what they started doing is putting decorations on there to express themselves. And efficiency is through the roof, Brad. I don't know what to tell you. It's a paradox. If you have any extra money, Jim, I'd like to sell you. I got a paradox you could buy down the road. Well, hardy har har. Isn't this supposed to be not even the beginning of a sleep podcast, but just the teaser and lead-in for a sleep podcast? Well, Jim, Brad, it is. I'm Scooter, and glad you're here. This is. You're right. You're right. I was supposed to much more efficiently. It's too bad I don't work at your. Wait, how much are those docs? Like, did you say one of you say you're selling a pair of docs? Because would they be like sight unseen? They're laughing, Brad and Jim. Pair of docs. Oh, I get it now. In that sense, I already have the docs and I don't even need them. I get it now. Okay, so welcome to Sleep With Me. It is a bit different. What we got coming up is support. So paying for the podcast is optional. If you prefer to listen without the sponsor support, there's ways to do that, but most people choose to do it that way. Then there's a long meandering intro, separate from the support, made to ease you into bedtime. And then there'll be a bedtime story later on, episodically modular series called Multiplex. And yeah, that's everything. I'm glad you're here, and yeah, just see how it goes. Maybe you're snoozing at work and increasing your, and it's a workplace that's snooze friendly. I mean, why not? I guess I could think of 1,000 reasons, Jim. Okay, well, great. Well, that's why you're only imaginary figures in my mind. So yeah, welcome to Sleep With Me. It's a podcast that's here to keep you company and put you to sleep. And these sponsors are how we're able to do it for you for free twice a week. All right, everybody, it's time for our episodically modular series, Multiplex. And Multiplex is welcome if you're new. How you doing? Don't worry, the main character of Multiplex, Boyd. Oh, no, Boyd's not the main character, Wyatt. Yeah, what kind of creator doesn't know who the main character is? Narrator. Well, how did I mispronounce it? Narrator? But Wyatt is the main character. And what else? what if you're new, you never listen to one of these episodically modular series with a touch of seriality, or maybe a hint of seriality, is so this is a fictional series about a group of friends at a shopping mall on an adventure. Episodically modular seriality means it's a continuing story with a beginning, middle, and end. It was seemingly supposed to have those things over the course of the series, which would be somewhere around 12 episodes-ish. But the episodically modular portion means, I think this is episode 6 we're recording now, but everything before this, you could listen to as prequels, because the main character is going to catch you up. So you'll have everything you need to know, and then you could watch those like flashbacks or whatever and say, oh, okay, that's how they got to the point where I started listening. And episode 6 is pretty important because that was the last. Star Wars went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So don't use that as an example. But there's probably another better example. Like fantasy series, I did a test. Can't remember. It wasn't GOT, but it was another fantasy series. Definitely one, maybe two. I read the second book. And then I went back and read the first book. Was it Wizard's First Rule? But I think that was the first book. If it's not, then I said, well, I'm going to read it first anyway, because if it's Wizard's First Rule. Anyway, not important. The only thing that's important is you can listen to it in any order. You could go back. I mean, we do have them numbered if you really need to. So then, but you could just keep listening to this one. You just don't pay attention, right? I'm just here to talk and rumble you off to dreamland. So that's what an episodically modular series is. And of course, when it's time for an episodically modular series, we love to have someone drive all the way from the greater Los Angeles area, or if he happens to be doing an event somewhere nearby. He's laughing because I don't think it was somewhere nearby. But we have our Hollywood announcer come by. Man, like people have been talking about you, Antonio, saying, I saw Antonio in this, I saw him in that. And so happy to have him here because he really is a busy guy. He only does this for love of sleep. And I think he gets something out of it. I mean, I'm not trying to be self-deprecating. I guess I do believe we enjoy our time together, but I can't imagine it because I am very difficult on Antonio. I just find he's perpetually making very subtle sounds. And, you know, if there ever becomes a point where they say, you know, we need to cast somebody in this movie who's silenter than a whisper. I don't know why they say silent. That's how I describe Antonio. Oh, he's as silent as a whisper. And if you're trying to record something through a preamp, you'll know that when I say silent as a whisper, it's not, doesn't make any sense. He's almost as silent. No, he's as silent as a whisper. I guess that's a simile. But in that one, it's kind of a fact-based statement. Mr. Antonio Banderas, the friends beyond the binaries, ladies, the gentlemen, the boys, the girls, it's time for Multiplex. Clickety, clickety, clack, yeah. Thanks, Antonio. That's Antonio Banderas. This is Multiplex. Take it away, Wyatt. Good evening, everybody. My name's Wyatt, and I'm recording these memories of mine. A tale I feel has needed to be told for a long time. Now, you may be listening to this, you may not know who I am, and that's not important, but if you say, well, I'm listening because I'm a fan of Wyatt, and those brilliant public access shows that are on YouTube now, but maybe they aren't now. I don't even know. Maybe you listen to this and you say, well, I don't even know what a YouTube is. I say, okay, great. But maybe you wondered how I got the interviews. I used to do a public access show, which a lot of you might not know what that is. But it's it was a show where I'd screen movies and talk to people involved in the movies or related tangentially, or were fans of the movies, or base their lives around characters in the movies, or once acted on a show. And people used to say there was a couple of recurring characters we had. Well, they thought they were characters, and they wondered how they were recurring. And they thought it was so brilliant, and the movie makeup and all that. And I'm here to, let people know, yeah, that wasn't my brilliance, or I don't have any makeup skills. So that's one thing. But so that's not the most important part of my tale. My tale is about how 4 friends, or 3 friends and 1 acquaintance, who were on a track, seemingly from childhood, for 3 different paths to greatness. Not burdens of expectation of high achievement, but like a propellant sending them to high achievement, and how they would set off on an adventure that they didn't know at the time, where their paths would go from the idea of high flying or highfalutin to just regular. How does someone take a grand adventure and become just regular? You know, and I ain't talking about high fiber oat bran, just regular. Well, it would be, because you said, well, what is it just, high fiber oat bran does just fine on its own, in my opinion. In my opinion, Wyatt's opinion. Some reason today I'm mixed up between myself and Boyd, the corncob kid. So that's the reason I'm telling these tales, to clear things up and to give you hope. If you ever thought, what's so great about being great? I don't know the answer to that, because I only know what's so great about being me, and in the pack, I'm among, and just doing stuff. So, and yeah, they might say, boy, well, this is my public access accent, right? They say, what regional accent is that, boy? It changes a lot. I'd say, yeah, this is when you make a public access show. This is my character for public consumption. Okay, so let me set the stage if you're new to this story here. What happened? Where are we? What's going on? Start off with 3 of us. Myself, Wyatt, my best friends, Santos and Josie. I had found out recently I didn't get a scholarship to school of my own, because I kind of didn't do good on what would have qualified me to get a scholarship that I thought I had locked in. So I was down, because I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go on the path I thought I was set forth on. Santos and Josie, they already had their full scholarships to school and big expectations. And, we're just in that twilight of our high school years. And it was around twilight that we were playing a game of mini golf to take my mind off of the losing of the scholarship. How am I going to pay for school? How am I going to, my parents, the whole 9 yards. And after that game of mini golf, we ran into Boyd, the corncob kid, who had come through a culvert under the road. A culvert, Boyd said, that led to a shopping mall. Fairglen, Fairview, why is it escaping me? But a shopping mall that had closed down sometime before. I mean, even though it's funny hearing an 18-year-old say this, like a shopping mall of my youth that had long been since forgotten. But Boyd had been in there. Particularly, Boyd had been inside the mall and found a collection of concentrated Dr. Julius J. juice, which used to be a stand at like a stalwart of the malls, where you could get it was kind of like I don't know, I never had one. I think maybe I had a taste of one when one of my parents got it, but it was like orange juice. I always thought it was orange juice and milk blended together, which makes no sense. But it was like some sort of creamy orange juice, maybe with pineapple. Anyway, wasn't real orange. It was concentrate, or it was some sort of concentrate based on real juices, I believe. But since Julius J. Juice had gone out of business, this concentrate, which came in cans, made to last for a very long time, was valuable. And this was before the internet, but there was still bulletin boards and those kind of things. And Boyd had people willing to buy this stuff, alt.julius.juice or something like the fans. I don't know how any of that worked, but they were willing to buy cans of this concentrate at a premium because it wasn't much out there in the world. And Boyd said, all I need help with is getting the juice concentrate cans out of the mall, through the culvert, into a truck, and then into my garage where I could, we could hold on. We can work out who holds them, and we'll sell them, and we'll split the money. I think the arrangement was Boyd gets 50%, and then we would split the rest to the other side of the 50%. But there was a lot of cans of it. And to our best deduction, this was abandoned merchandise. The company was out of business, the mall was out of business. And enough time had passed that if someone, there was no Dr. Julius J. Juice, that was only an imaginary figure. But if there was a Dr. Julius J. Juice, all the assets had already been, taken care of. So this was basically like an advanced form of jumping, going through, and you say, well, I own my garbage. Okay, well, anyway, let's just say it was a gray area. But it wasn't too gray for, we're pretty honest kids. But we went in the mall to get that juice. So snuck in the mall. There's a couple things that we thought were strange. Extra fencing that looked pretty new. Some of the fencing facing the inside of the mall. We eventually went into the World of Cutlery. Ran into a worker there who needed us to retrieve a missing item from the World of Cutlery. There we met a mommy who needed to be reconstructed anatomically and with socks, and to find their way back into a movie in the Multiplex, the mommy movie. And we've initially, at this point, still believe that it was part of a immersive theater opportunity. There was different times, probably obvious to you listening, that there's some holes in that theory. But, we were just 18. And this is pretty mind-boggling. So we helped this mommy reestablish its physical being. We thought it was a puppet. I mean, on some level, I didn't think it was a puppet. But and we had to help it get back into its movie. Movie then became a serial. And it could only get in the movie at the right time, at the right moment, in the right conditions. That's what it needed our help for. Again, like you would call a get-out-of-this-room thing, adventure, or an immersive theater adventure. So we helped that mommy, and we got the missing thing returned to the World of Cutlery. And then we tried to get out of there, get the juice. We had given some of the juice to the mommy, juice concentrate. Some of the mall was closed, and so our options were limited. Also, we had slept, but we were still on this adventure. The next thing we encountered, as we were just trying to get out of the mall, was someone named Franny. Franny was the ultimate companion, what do you call that? Combination of famous beings, again, with this anatomy stuff, but combined to be an ultimate companion to hang around with by Victor or Victoria or somebody. I mean, I know because I read the book and I loathe the person that did this in the book. It's just my opinion, though. And Franny needed our help. Now, Franny wanted to become Mistress of Iron. She had gone to Spence's Gifts and seen the posters of the Mistress of Iron, the black velvet posters, and thought, hey, I want to be the Mistress of Iron. Also, Franny had remembered that in the laboratory where Franny became the ultimate human companion, not like a dog companion, and not like a companion you could talk to. I guess it was the original goal. I think it was a large ego Victor who said, this is what I think the world needs, without thinking it totally through. But Franny was frustrated because Franny had been in not accepted as the ultimate companion, because Franny's when you combine a bunch of different people together, especially when those people are historical figures that have since moved on from the earthly realm, that's not a kind of visual that most people are comfortable having as their companion. And so Franny was very frustrated, and that's why Franny wanted to become the Mistress of Iron, to go and dominate the people, or to force them to see, Oh, and also use like lights and lightning light type stuff, because that's the flashy part of the movie or the story, I guess the movie in this case. And also Spence, everybody that works at Spence is named Spence. It's like one of their gimmicks, I guess. More than a gimmick, apparently. But so someone at Spence said, hey, I need what do you call it? The black lights, because I can't leave work. Oh, because Franny had broken all the black lights at Spence's. So we went to this is where we met Franny, at the Tiki Transistor Tiki Hut, where Josie used to work. They sell black lights and other items like that. That's where we met Franny, heard Franny's story. Now, I'll be honest, a little bit disappointed in myself and everybody. We started to gather the lights. We got Franny distracted, and then we tried to leave the mall unsuccessfully. And I think that's where I left off in my tale. We were just going to ditch Franny and Spence and this immersive theater. But, we'd been in this immersive theater for like 36 hours, more than maybe even, maybe not, maybe 24. I don't even know. We'd lost track of time. But so we were like kind of a tails between our legs. We had to go back. The only door we had access to was the back door of the Transistor Tiki Hut, where you could buy radio. Like, it became a place where you could buy everything. But, and we went back, and Franny was still there. And Franny was still trying to set up the lights. We'd had a long discussion again of how we were going to handle this. So I don't need to get into that. Should we just leave Franny again, sneak by Franny, leave? No, clearly we need to help Franny and Spence, and then we'll be able to get out of the mall. Also, Spence had keys to the back door of Spence's. Okay, so we went back there, and Franny, I can't remember where I last tell, and some of this all, kind of clouds together. But Franny had all the lights and was getting really intense. So first thing we did was calm Franny down and say, okay, we're here to help. Sorry, we got, we'll be, we were trying to leave, to be honest. And that kind of let Franny feel again like another set of humans letting me down. We said, okay. And then we realized we also have to help Spence. So we decided with Franny, we said, hey, let's bring all this in front of the Mistress of the Iron, because Spence's has a room or like a place curtained off area with posters, mostly Mistress of Iron posters that when you have black lights on them, they glow in the dark and look really cool. So we went back there, and then we kind of started getting everything set up. Spence was not there. And there was a sign, like, no worries, Spence is on break. I said, okay, well, anyway. So we started plugging in all the black lights we'd taken. Josie left an invoice, even though we realized, well, it's not this whole mall. Why is there even inventory? Oh, well, it's probably part of this game. Maybe we should leave an invoice then, since Josie used to work there. Invoicing Spence's for the missing black lights and plasma domes and all that stuff, lava lamps. So we got everything set up right, and then we said, okay, Franny, because this was a difficult part, because this is pomp and circumstance, really, because the black lights and all that stuff weren't going to, we said, what do you want to get out of this? I want to have the same powers as Mistress of Iron. And then we realized, but we got to bring you back to your movie. And so we took some more time at this point. I mean, because we had to walk back from, had take a couple trips. We had to set everything up. So instead of just doing it silently, we had Franny talking the whole time. And also we had to read the book that the movie was based on in high school. This movie is just called Franny, and they said, okay, well, Franny is like unhappy. Franny was supposed to be the ultimate companion. Everywhere Franny went, people ran and yelled and yelled and yelled. And even when Franny was supposed to, I tried to discuss philosophy, tried to sing, tried to be of service, and help them with like chopping wood and stuff. We said, oh yeah, we remember that was in the book, and we like none of us had seen the movie, by the way. And it kind of worked out that it's like, okay, so Franny's just not visually likable, unfortunately, and misunderstood, definitely. Even though Franny was a bit much, I mean, but under circumstances, we could see that, that was reasonable. And if you read the book, Franny's behavior is very reasonable. You say, okay, Franny, I'm on your side. Don't worry. And so we kind of remember, and, for the shopping mall, no, we didn't have, right now, most of the gates of the shopping mall were down. So we had access to just this one section of the mall, but there was still, we said, what about a makeover, right? And first we tried doing a makeover just at Spence's. Now, Spence's has a limited selection of clothing based on people that, like, at this time wanted to be like a mistress of iron. But, like, the actual people that would hang with the Mistress of Iron probably don't shop at Spence's, or listen to the Mistress of Iron. She's a rock band, metal band. So, okay, but we did that first. And we went back to the movie, left all the black lights and all that stuff. So we said, okay, now we could go back and Spence will be happy too. And we put Franny back in the film, right? We'd already done this with the mommy. So it wasn't that difficult. And quickly we found that Franny, like being like the Mistress of Iron, did not help. So no metal in whatever year it was, 18, whatever year. I don't know where the setting of the film is, 19. Should have known that. So then again we said, okay, well, what if we try to put you in something a little bit more plain? And I can't remember where the first store we went to was. And then we said, okay, we got to watch a movie anyway with Franny. So we watched it one time without Franny in there. And then we watched and we said, okay, Franny, we think we know what we're doing. So you just go in dressed in this kind of plain thing and we'll watch. We kind of remember from the book. And, the whole movie builds to when everybody decides, oh, no, not Franny, and Victoria. It was a team. I think that was like in the movie, it was a team, where in the book it was just Victor, right? And I don't think in the book, Victor, skates in the book. But in the movie, everybody decides we're going to go to the big, castle, and there's going to be a big ending. So we watched the whole movie with and without Franny in it, and trying to figure out, well, where we put Franny in it. And then we thought about our favorite part because there's parts that are not easy, right? So Franny, in the movie, and they took this from the book, probably the most powerful emotional moment. And the book, I'll just combine the two images because it's important. So in the book, Franny kind of lives outside of this cottage in this edge of town where this family lives. And the family's not in great shape, They could use some help, maybe the help from an ultimate companion. But Franny's already learned the hard way that people aren't necessarily accepting of Franny. So Franny just lays in this broken down, we'll just say like a broken down mill right at the edge of their property. Nobody goes there. Even the kids don't go there and play for some reason. So Franny just lays there all day watching. And then Franny realizes where they need help. And then while they're sleeping, Franny starts helping and, chopping their wood, bringing fresh water, and just leaving it. Kind of like in fairy tales, right? We say, oh, boy, the forest sprites are leaving our water and our wood. And these people, they were a little bit more people-centric. So they said, oh, there must be people that really care about us, and they're anonymous. And then in the movie and the book, Franny breaks, Franny's anonymity at some point. Says, well, I've helped these people to get to a point where they're flourishing almost, but still in great need of my help. Of course they're going to embrace me with open arms. In the movie, Franny decides, I'll even read you a bedtime story to one of the kids. And that's just what sets off the entire final chain of the events of the film. But also in the movie, they did have the scene where people become aware of Franny, and they say, no, we can't accept you as you're too different, Franny. I'm sorry. They don't say I'm sorry or anything. They just react. And I'll tell you what, after watching the movie twice, none of us, like, we'd already had a strong distaste for Victor. Now we had a strong distaste for the townspeople, particularly the people of this cottage. And so it was a little difficult to help Franny because we were like, maybe you should just go back there and we should just change the entire plot of the story. But and be honest, we tried it. Didn't work. Plus, Franny was like, no, I like these people, even though they're not nice to me. Then what we did, which is pretty standard, we'd already tried metal look for Franny. We tried sending Franny back in a lot of different ways. So like a lot of different outfits, as soft as possible, entertaining, uplifting, whatever we could design or find clothing, which is even in the section mall. We could say, well, the sock puppet thing worked in the last one. Is there anything we can do to diffuse this human reaction and have them deal with it in a different way? Did not work. And we started to get really unhappy. And again, we really felt for Franny, but Franny was also fed up, and we were fed up with the people in the movie. But there's something about us four that in the face of that difficulty, it became like a puzzle where you're missing like a jigsaw puzzle where you're missing a few of the pieces that you need to figure out what the pieces you have are for. And you know those pieces are missing, and you dedicate yourself to searching everywhere for those missing pieces that aren't on the table. You see, we almost know what this picture, this puzzle is. Clearly something is missing. We need to find these pieces. They must be somewhere on the floor, maybe in the couch cushion, maybe in someone's sock. By the way, Santos, remember that? So we're also approaching it from that sort of level, or channeling our frustration mostly into solving it. But at this point, we were like pacing around the mall. We had free range. What do? We kept checking Spence's to see if Spence was there. No sign of Spence. And we're all standing in front of the Mistress of Iron. Oh, what was interesting? Franny's a performer in this immersive theater. It was a human, and we were assuming it was a human in costume, right? Performing as this amalgamation of famous people made to be the ultimate companion for humans, created by Victor and Victoria in the film. Okay, so what happened? We were trying to think, and we were trying to think of anything we could do. Where had we gone wrong? And two things came together. One, we were going through everything at Spence's because we didn't care at this point. And Josie found the Spence's employee guidebook, not a handbook, not rule book, a guidebook. And it talked about guides versus rules versus suggestions. That was one part. And then Boyd kind of started to relate, and Boyd told us a story of, because Boyd was really into this, right? Because Boyd was not in the in crowd like we were. Boyd was the corncob kid. And Boyd said to us, you know what, did you ever know how I became the corncob kid? And Santos hadn't been there, but Josie and I had. We said, you transferred to our school, and you had overalls. Did you have like a straw hat? And Boyd was laughing at this, even though this is really what Josie kind of remembered. Overalls, no shirt, no shoes, and a piece of wheat between your teeth. So with maybe a straw hat Boyd said, no. Well, some of that's true. And I said, I remember your corncob pipe that you still have. And Boyd said, pipes, because these are pipes you don't smoke, like not like that kind of smoke. And they used to give kids corncob pipes at the pipe store for free or a huge discount to look cool. They weren't for blowing bubbles. They were just for keep it in your mouth. And they're like Boyd said, yeah. I was so on the outs at that school that my father gave me a corncob pipe to soothe myself. And he goes, but yeah, I was corncob kid, not the corncob kid. And we, oh yeah, corncob kid, corncob kid. We had different rhymes about it. Not nice, kids. This was in fifth, sixth, seventh grade. We all have regrets, right, of how we behaved, and we started to see the regrettable behavior we had behaved and how it impacted Boyd. Boyd said, "Yeah, but the corncob pie still soothed me." So I kept at it, and at some point my parents helped, and I got other help from the school counselor, and I realized, I could be okay with not, being as okay as I wanted to be, and that, I could adjust. And then, yeah, it was unfortunate, but you guys were just kids being kids, and I could embrace, where I was and all that, and as Boyd went from being a preteen, or the stages of growth, Boyd became a little bit more of a stronger figure. And Boyd said, yeah, at some point I became the corncob kid because I was the corncob kid in my mind first. And we said, what do you mean? What do you mean? And we're going to have to explain it better. And Boyd says, like, playing a role. And this was so these two things happened at the same time. Josie's going through the Spence handbook. Boyd is laying out organic life lessons from being corncob kid to the corncob kid and playing that role and learning, sometimes it doesn't feel, being a teen and an adolescence doesn't always feel good. And wanting to be accepted and seen and loved and all that. And then Josie's reading the difficulties of being a teen or in your 20s and being in the service business and embodying the Spence style for Spence's gifts. And Boyd was talking about acceptance and caring and cared for. And the idea that the corncob kid was totally okay with not being okay, with uncertainty, with other people having strong feelings and Boyd having strong feelings. And the Spence's handbook was laying out stuff like, it's a process, man. Don't fake it, but play it like you made it or something. I can't even remember. And Spence doesn't care what others think, but cares about what others are thinking. And now when we're all like, wait a second, what? Is that like what Boyd's talking about? I guess I kind of felt bad for Franny at this point. But basically, as we started to pick apart this stuff, it became clear that two things became clear. That sometimes, because I think the whole thing of Spence's was being of service like you don't care about the result. And we thought about the people at Spence, that we had admired from afar, or other people in our life, like JJ, the drummer, or other people that were they didn't care whether they were likable or not. They didn't or maybe they did, but on the outside, at least the what they projected was similar. This was subtler, going from corncob kid to the corncob kid. So now we started to think of real examples, like kids that didn't graduate from our school that were in the grades ahead of us, JJ the drummer being one of them. JJ did graduate top of class, but I'm using examples like JJ never wore a shirt to school till it was and then just JJ will put on a shirt then. People, and this could happen in gradations too, right? Some of these people were really nice or were neutral, and some of them were too cool for school. But they didn't seem to think about it, right? They just were. And again, to go back, seeing it laid out in the Spence's thing of guidelines, yes, Spence is here to help, whether you appreciate the help or not. The fact that you helped is appreciated by Spence. And so then we got this idea, right? Okay, can we do this for Franny? And we were like, okay, so Franny, this is how it's going to work. And we're putting aside all the outfits and all that, and we're going to send you back. And you'll care. We know you care if the people are going to want you as ultimate companion or not. And we all care that you were doing all this hard work for this family at the edge of this town. And they just took it for granted. And yeah, like in the Spence handbook, Spence draws the line at bad behavior and says, please step outside. We're running Spence's here. You could shop somewhere else. So we were trying to figure out what that boundary was, right? But we said, you go back, you be a laborer for the love of the labor, and you love the people, right? But what if you loved them and loved the service regardless of outcome? Now, this is hard to handle, right? So I have no idea how many times we had to do this in the movie. It never worked as a thing. How do you forget about that kind of stuff? We figured maybe we'll be here 3 years, but it was on the third time that it didn't work that, and every time it doesn't work, Franny comes out of the movie. So on the third time Franny was there, we were there, flash of light at the end of the movie. We said, we're missing something. And again, we had a big debate. Maybe these people, maybe we pass on assisting them. And we said, no, that can't be it. That can't be it. And then what was weird is we heard in the mall, because again, we were pacing around. Also, we were eating and drinking. Water fountains worked, all that. It was still one of the pretzel places. Didn't have, anyway, not important. But so we heard some of the gates in the mall, the inside of the mall open, not the outside. And we said, okay, this is another area where we're like, maybe we just leave, go back to the world of cutlery, get out of the mall, figure out another way out of this mall, put Franny back in the movie. But that was cursory, right? Then we're just like the people in the movie, right? And it doesn't seem very Spencing. Plus, we wanted to see Spence again. So we said, okay, that's not an option. And, then it was just kind of weird. It seemed like a one-off comment, but Franny said, I kind of liked dressing up. And again, this was where we figured, this is a puzzle. This is a jigsaw puzzle we're trying to solve. We have one piece. Now the puzzle is giving us the next piece, kind of like when your strategies you use. Because we figured, we forgot this was this immersive adventure. Now Franny's giving us a clue. The doors opened. We got to find Franny something because maybe if Franny felt more comfortable. And so we started walking the mall, but we were focused on, and again, we should have known, like there's mannequins in the stores and everything. Other than the stores that just were under construction. And we start walking through there, right? Looking for, something that sticks out to Franny and what feels Franny, right? And finally, we come to the store, we pass it, and Franny says, whoa, back there. The store is called We Got the Funk. I think DA. Oh, no, we got the WG. We got the Funk. WGDF, but it also said We Got the Funk. And I don't remember this store, but it kind of makes sense in the timeline. And it definitely makes sense if this was a game, right? This was a store dedicated to funk. And the funk aesthetic, there was so it was mostly clothing. But there was also gifts, decor, records, tapes. I don't know if this was in CDs. I can't remember that. They would have looked like tapes anyway, kind of in a long, package. Posters, you say, what, you might not know what funk is. It'd say, disco, if disco was cool, that's funk. So there was disco balls and glitter. And, of course, posters, and the posters are the great, you'll see what happened. So we said, okay, Franny. And then we did a mini montage of Franny dressing in different funk outfits, also trying to say, we got to be mobile. because you're still going to have to be able to chop wood and carry water and help them with their livestock and find the lost cat, all the adventures in the movie, and like maybe run back up to the castle. Hope you don't have to do that, though. But we got to something where Franny said, this feels right. And it was very funky, formal, semi-formal funk. And we laughed a lot. And at first, Franny was confused, but this was kind of like the thing with the corncob kid. And Boyd kind of had to explain it to us. Like, this is good. Like a laughing with versus laughing at. Because we said, this is ridiculous. We have an amalgamation, someone dressed up, so we thought, as an amalgamation of beings, post-earthly, famous people, to, walk around and, but then we said, holy cow, platform shoes. In the movie, you had platform shoes originally. I think that was so Franny would tower over everybody like the incredible grouchy guy, green grouchy guy in the comic books. But so then we, Franny was funkified. And, Franny could go so whatever. Franny felt good. I guess that's the key thing. So we went back to the movie and we waited and we said, okay, Franny, remember, you're going to get in there. You're going to live in the old collapsed mill and watch people and love the people. And you're going to serve the people because you love them, not because they're good people. Obviously, they're not great. And you're going to draw the boundary. These are the things we've learned through the other ones that probably I didn't explain good. If you can always move on to help another group of people and not keep helping them. If they don't appreciate it, move on and help somebody else. Because that's how Franny ended up finding the lost cat. So there was some new scenes in the movie that we had discovered or created or whatever, using the time travel film principle on a loop, we'd learn from them helping the mommy. And it did take a couple slips by Franny, because Franny actually did have to move on from the family and then go back. But this one, the second time Franny went back and they said, what are you? And whatever, like Franny said, I was the one helping you the whole time, with all this wood and stuff. Well, why'd you stop? And Franny said, other people need my help too, man. And very funky, also doubly interesting, because Franny already was pretty interesting, but now in a world without funk, Franny had brought, they were like, are you from another world? And Franny goes, this was the improv dialogue, I think, feels like it. And I said, why'd you help us in the first place? Because I felt like it. Why'd you stop helping us? Felt like helping somebody else. Well, do you feel like helping us again? We still need more wood and water. And Franny said, I don't know. What I do know is there's this big castle up the hill, tons of rooms. Want to come up there with me? And whatever, Franny started gathering a couple of these people that lived on the outskirts of this town that Franny had helped. Franny said, maybe we could all work together and you could come. And then suddenly Franny was like this Pied Piper. Well, that's a wrong analogy because they weren't going anywhere. I mean, other than that, Victor and Victoria also lived in the castle in the movie. But that'll come later because in a second I'm gonna explain everything, right? But we knew, right, that we were watching this. Franny had been successful. The people were smiling and following Franny. In the past, they were running after Franny. And they were they said, can we go back to our house? And Franny said, yeah, anytime. We'll go, come see the castle. We'll figure it out. Because then they're talking about, okay, these people keep losing their cat. Oh, the kids could find the cat we need wood, water. And finally, they get to the castle, right? And this is where everything changed. And I forgot that this is what had happened last time. That it went from like this live action thing to this animated style. So the Franny knocks on the door of the castle. All these people are behind Franny. And then when Franny knocks on the door, it cuts to this animated sequence, and Victor and Victoria are in the castle. And they have all their equipment, but instead of like an amalgamated being that they're raising up to the ceiling with the lightning bolts and the black light, it's a giant bowl of cereal. And they're talking about cereal domination, and finally, this is the most beloved cereal in the land. I don't know. I think it was whatever the cereal was from the last one. And we're going to finally do that. And once we, and put our power into it, it'll be Victor and Victoria's victory of V's or something. And we'll dominate all the land. So, but the door had opened, right? So we could see Franny and the people behind Franny watching this, and then Franny came in. Now, at this point, Franny was even more funkified with a guitar, not a guitar. And then, like, it was kind of like Franny said, but like started playing on the guitar. And then Victor and Victoria were like, what is that noise? And Franny said, like, this is a funky situation. I don't know the dialogue. I don't remember. I was there watching it. I just remember the details. But something like that. This is a funky situation. And then suddenly dropping out of the ceiling and then out of the crowd of people become like some of the members of Funkadelic, right? And the irony is they start playing a funk version of a Mistress of Iron song. And they say, we're going to put a stop to this cereal, like blah, blah, blah. Like, and then you see the giant bowl of V cereal. Franny and the members of Funkadelic jump up on the lip of the bowl, and they're playing funk music, and dancing, and then like, all these different multicolored, like, but very stylized, like bolts of lightning start hitting the cereal, like with each note of funky music. And then Franny starts alliterating. Franny's time. Franny's funky flakes. They become these like pink flakes, like Franny's funky frosted frosting, I don't know, something like that. A lot of F's. Almost a tongue twister. And then at the end, like you see the cereal, all the people come in, they already have spoons. They have the color changing spoons that were the free gift in the cereal, because this was like a cereal vignette to become. And then the last thing that happens is that on the side of the bowl, one of Franny says the name of the cereal. Then you see the box of cereal, like, appears out of the ground in front of Victor and Victoria. And then on the side of the bowl is Bootsy Collins, but Bootsy Collins goes, it's Boots Mellows, or something like that. And then they just play this last note, like the end of a cereal commercial. And we knew that Franny had found a home, and then we also knew that we were really tired. So again, very similar last time. We were like wiped, and so we laid down and rested in the chairs of this theater. Another theater in the Multiplex. And we knew for Franny, and like all was going to be well until next time. Heard it by Scoots. I just wanted to thank the people that joined or moved over to Sleep With Me Plus recently. Brock, David, and Nicole. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. James, William, Adam, and Bling. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Megan, Jordan, and Jamie. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thought, Claire, and Chris. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Kwame, Abby, and Janice. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Jeannie, Ellen, and Amy. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Elliot, Seth, and Ann. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Natalie, Thomas, and Julie. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Cheryl, Debbie, and Rachel. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. And Myrna, William, and Trevor. Thank you. Thanks, and good night. Thanks, everybody who supports the show directly on Sleep With Me Plus. And to everybody that supports the show on Apple Podcasts or supports the sponsors, I really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without all of you. And, this will be Scoots with, like, a preview of what's been, weeks in review or month in review or a Tuck You In sponsor. Thanks. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots with the Tuck You In message, two-parter Tuck You In message. So let me go to the second part first, even though I haven't read it at all. If you're still listening to me, I hope I'm bringing you and have brought you comfort in the deep, dark night. And there's plenty of other episodes to choose from, plenty of other episodes coming out this week, coming out soon. Or maybe you're just barely hearing me, or maybe you've queued it up and this is just playing. But I don't know if any of the messages we've been putting in the show for the past year you've heard them and they've landed with some part of you, like a part of you in your heart about supporting the show, because I'm not trying to change anybody's mind, right? If you can't support the show, you can't support the show. If you don't want to, you choose not to, or you think the show doesn't, deserve your support or need your support in a strong way, that's fine too. But if you've been putting off supporting the show, where you're like, I know the show, I realize the show needs my support, but like that's in your heart, but there's something else in your head, right? Some other part of you that's been standing in your way. I'll do it tomorrow. One day I'll do it. Or the most the menacing for us, or the biggest obstacle for us, my support doesn't matter. There's no way my $7, my $60 supporting the show just for a few months while I listen to it can matter. I'm here to tell you, or one day I'll support the show that if you already in your heart know you want to support the show, and you already in your heart know if Sleep With Me goes away or changes drastically or goes behind a paywall, you'd miss it and you'd be disappointed, and it might even impact your sleep or whatever, like the show's a part of your life. Please don't wait. Go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Your $7 a month, your $60 a year will actually change the future of the podcast. It's all a matter of me getting through the people who've already decided in their heart to support the show, but there's something in their head or their feelings or their brain bots that's in the way. And I just need to get through to you that it's like, we are in a don't wait situation, and so, and we don't need to be like, so I just got to try to get through to everybody, but I also want to get through to the people who can't support the show, right? I love making this podcast, and we're launching something fun for the people who want to, you say, well, I want to support the show, I just can't do it financially. I want to be a part of this thing, but I can't be a part of it financially, like, because for a lot of listeners, it's ironic. There's some listeners that's the $7, you think it won't help the show, but there's a lot of listeners that $7 is out of reach for them, and I've been in that place too. But I'm here to try to catch you doing something right, as they say, and something fun. If you want to support the show by spreading the word about the podcast, letting one person know about the podcast, just genuinely sharing your honest experience about the podcast, you sharing with one person, whether it's in person or online, can also change the future of the podcast, right? Because 1 out of every 100 people does support the show. So it's like, if you and 99 other people do that. Like, it's the same. If you do it, 99 other people are likely to do it. But letting people know about the podcasts that are going to benefit from it, you're helping our podcast keep going. You're helping that person, because Sleep With Me is a niche, right? The people that don't know about Sleep With Me that could really use it, they don't know about it yet. And maybe you letting somebody know about it, it changes their life. Or they let somebody else know about it and it changes that person's life. And I don't know if you know how powerful that is, but I think you could pause and feel it right now, right? If you're listening right now, the podcast is probably a big part of your life. And like I said earlier, it's a big part of your heart. And we used to call this a one-person initiative, and we're bringing it back. No more signing up for the referral program. I mean, we'll do stuff where you could sign up, but I'm going to be out there. Tag me at Dear Scooter, or email me through the website, message me through our website form. Let me know how you're spreading the word. Do it in a fun, genuine way. Don't spam. Just let people know how you discovered the show. What do you like about the show? What are your favorite things? What silly things have you heard? How has it changed your life or your relationship with sleep? How's it impacted your day? And here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be looking for people, and I'm going to surprise them. When you surprise me by spreading the word about the show, I have free Sleep With Me Plus memberships from our scholarship program that Cornelia started, and other people that have supported the show for people that aren't in a position to support the show. So I'll be giving out 3-month memberships to Sleep With Me Plus to some people. Maybe I'll send stickers to some people. Maybe I'll send you a personal video thanking you. Maybe other things. Who knows what surprises I have in store. And it'll be fun for everybody. You'll be changing the life of the podcast that you care about. If you do, you don't. If you don't, it does. Like, if you don't have to participate in this. But if you do, it's going to be fun. I'm going to be out there looking, or you could message me through the form on our website. Let me know tell me the story of how you participated, how you spread the word. And again, I can't surprise everybody. I hope I get to surprise one person tomorrow that's doing that. So don't spam, but make sure to tag me. And if you get really active, you might end up like a couple people that were a part of our referral program. Victor got pretty much a lifetime subscription to Sleep With Me Plus because he spread the word so much and so often. And Cornelia's entire scholarship program, she brought thousands and thousands of listeners to the show just by spreading the word in a genuine way where she knew people could use it. So tag me, at Dearest Scooter. That's with a T, DEAREST, Scooter, SCOOTER. Or if you're in the pen and paper world, put up a poster or whatever, a sign in the laundromat and say, hey, if you can't sleep, check out Sleep With Me podcast. Or let me know how you let people know about it in a genuine, friendly way. I can't surprise anybody that's just like going up to random strangers or whatever, but that's not sleepy at all. But thanks so much for listening. And again, those are the two huge ways, because this is like, we've been building towards this, unfortunately. And this has never been a time where more people are no longer in a position to support the show. They've had to stop their support of the podcast. It's a time of, and just like everybody else, the podcast is in this place where it's like, man, this is really tough. But the beauty is we don't need to be in that position where it's like, what's going to happen here? I just got to get through to the people that have been putting it off. So you've been putting off supporting the show? Honestly, don't wait another second. sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Sign up right now. Or if you've been putting off support, I love this Sleep With Me, I'll do it tomorrow. Come up with a plan to do it tomorrow. Spread the word and say, man, I want to be surprised by a scooter. Thanks.